a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Hey everyone, before this episode begins, I just want to let you know that the bits will be taking a short break between this episode and the next one because I'm moving and there are many complications that come with that. So enjoy the episode and know that the next one's going to take, I want to aim for late March, but I'm not going to promise anything right now. Just stay tuned to the Instagram, the Bits SU Pod on Instagram, and we'll update you when the show will come back. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
The bits, the bits, the bits, the bits, the bits.
Welcome to The Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds, Charlie.
And Robert?
And Robert?
We have two Roberts.
And Charlie again?
And Charlie again. And I think there's a Kyla somewhere in there.
You should have had a guest on the Steven and the Stevens episode so you could all say Steven. Anyway, yes, it is I, Kyla. I have returned.
And I have since learned how to say your name. We did it.
Woo! You are far from the first or the last. Do not take it personally. I've stopped taking it personally.
It's Kyela, like a kayak, right?
Nah, it's Kyla.
Yeah.
It's
Like a
Kyla
kayak.
I don't know anything that starts with the word Kai. Agni Kai. It's like an Agni Kai.
Yes, Agni Kyla.
Agni Kyla.
The go-to in like elementary school was kids to like quote unquote make fun of me by saying "Ni hao Kyla" instead of Kylan. This is separate from Charlie. This is separate from that kid years later who thought I was Chinese because I said I was adopted.
What?
So that's actually
Talking
technically
about this one.
The Kyla lore is strong right now.
Because white
Yeah.
people can't get adopted.
nope. Apparently not. Not according to this kid.
That kid has never seen Annie.
But is Annie okay? Has anyone asked her? Has she been struck by a smooth criminal?
Are you okay, Annie?
Well, you know who
Yeah.
who is okay?
Who's
Not me.
okay?
Lapis at the end of the episode Ocean Gem, which is what we're watching today. Season 1, episode 26. Halfway, boys.
Woo!
Robert, you need to share. You need to share the thing with me. I need to know.
You'll need to know. You'll find out at the end of this, and you'll find out at the end of this episode. So this episode also premiered alongside Mirror Gem, September 25th, 2014.
Woo!
Because it was a two-parter finale for season half.
And also possibly what they thought was going to be the last episode.
Actually, fun fact. So, even though I first got into Steven Universe from my friend telling me to watch it, the first time I'd seen clips of the show in passing before, and one of the clips I had seen was the end of Mirror Gem and then the start of Ocean Gem, because I saw the clip of Lapis coming out of the mirror, and I was like, oh shit, something's like cool is going on here with this show. I bumped it up my priority list of things to watch.
Some freaky deaky shit's happening.
Of
So,
course
yeah.
it was Lapis that drew you to this show because that's so on brand for you.
I'm water everything. Water type Pokemon. I'd be a water bender. I just water. Moist.
This is a water person. Moist? You're so moist?
I'm so moist. I just know people
Oh,
hate that
boy.
word, so I'm gonna.
I love that word. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, but a lot of people. But you love it because a lot of people hate it.
True enough.
So, in this audio format, I will subject people to the word moist. I'm sorry.
Moist. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Lapis is great.
So Lapis is great. She's wonderful. And
She's
hey,
not
look,
doing great right now, but we'll get
hey,
to that.
look, my dudes, we have a new gem.
We have a new gem. Oh my gosh, Charlie, it's time for you to do your bit that you've Haven't done it in a while. What's the bit
When
called
was the
again?
last time we did it? Was Sugalite. Well, welcome, my friends, to
The
Classroom
Gems.
in which Charlie struggles to read a Wikipedia article for 20 minutes.
That's also the end of every episode of this pod for both of you. So if you're gonna call out Charlie, call out yourself.
I can
You
read.
coward.
I can read
can-
the trivia section of
can?
Wikipedia.
Can you read? A Fanpedia whatever wiki thing, that's different than like the actual Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia.
I saw a clip today. I forget where it was from, but it was like, I'm not convinced that I can read. I'm just convinced that I've memorized a bunch of words, and I'm like, maybe that's true. Maybe that's just what it is to read.
There actually is a thing called sight words that you're supposed to like help small children with first to be like you can see the word the and immediately know it's the without having to like actually read it. So like maybe all words are in fact sight words and we've just convinced ourselves that it's only a few of them.
I've heard this terminology because I work at a preschool, so yes, I understand.
Let me just mansplain sight words to you.
No, you're good. You're good. I didn't know about specifically the. I just heard people say, "Oh yeah, you really want to like have, the words next to also like the pictures, like so the kids can associate those things." And like, no, you know, they can't read yet. They're 3. But
Look, if you put a letter A next to an apple enough times, someone's gonna get it.
Anyway, Charlie, read the Wikipedia. Damn it.
for lapis lazuli, how the fuck do you pronounce this gem specifically? I can't. I physically
I've been
don't
told
think
it's
I
lapis
can.
lazuli, but I could be wrong.
Lapis?
There's lapis. There's
East.
literally a
Like yeast.
UK version and a US version on this thing, and I cannot read like the
The phonetic
pronunciation
stuff.
Yeah, the phonetics, I can't read those very well, so I just
Yeah.
say it like they do in the show, lapis lazuli. But there's some drama about how to pronounce it, just like with Peridot,
Yeah.
which we'll get to someday.
But not today.
And the fact that it's also like, or lapis for short, it's a blue gem. Did you not know? It's a blue rock, a metamorphic rock. She's blue.
Dabba dee dabba die.
If she were green, she would die. Yeah. I specifically remember hearing lapis lazuli a lot when I read like the Epic of Gilgamesh back in college.
Yeah.
And this is specifically also like, hey, look, it originated in Persian from a word that meant blue. Like,
Yeah.
this lapis lazuli has existed for a long time. People have known about this shit for a while.
Fun fact,
like
most rocks
rocks.
have existed for a long time.
Yes, but like we like this rock.
Yeah.
Like this rock specifically, people have known about it. They were like,
yeah.
that shit's pretty.
It sure is.
Put it everywhere.
Y'all ever think about how the majority of the water on Earth has been here more or less since the Earth has formed?
Water
I mean,
has
there's a
memory.
few like million years in between that, but yeah, define formation of the Earth, and you'll get a lot of people upsetty.
Formation of the Earth? What are you talking about? You mean when God put us here? Nah.
2,000 years ago, or 20,000, whatever the number is.
2,000
I don't know
years
what the
ago.
number is. I was not raised in a fundamentalist group. I don't know the number.
No, Jesus didn't even exist. The Earth has only been here for 2,000 years. That's some flat earther
Exactly.
shit. That sounds
started-
like flat earther shit.
It started in the year 24.
Why didn't we just call it 0 then? Because fuck you. Anyway. Yes, Charlie, please, I'm sorry for interrupting your bit on the bits.
No, that's the point of this, is that we all get interrupted. So let's talk about the etymology for a second. We got lapis is from Latin, means stone, and lazuli, this is like medieval Latin and Arabic and Persian, and it means like sky or heaven. So like a stone from the heavens. Isn't that pretty?
The
Isn't that
sky is
cool?
falling. Oh no, it just lapis.
No, she
That'll be-
sold the ocean.
The ocean is falling. Oh no, it just lapis.
All right. This page is a lot less of like some of the gem stuff that I look for specifically.
You mean there's no cleavage
So
listed?
there's no cleavage listed. I'm very upset. I always need to know about the cleavage. But
I guess
okay, so
Lapis
this
just don't got
is
titty.
so this is also related to lazurite, which I'm very confused how it's related to it. It just says primary lazurite, and I'm like, what does this mean? So the most important mineral component of lapis lazuli is lazurite.
Yeah. So
So
it's a
is it like, I'm not a geologist. I'm just here.
it's to my understanding, basically with rocks, it's like how there's elements on the periodic table, and a bunch of those
Mhm.
together can make minerals, and then a bunch of those together can make other like we can call them minerals or gems and stuff, but not all of them. Some of them will be pure minerals, and some of them will be like how there's pure elements, and then there's some that are like combinations, and some of these are
So
combinations of
like,
combinations.
so you're saying that lapis is in itself a fusion?
Probably a lot of the gems are, but like yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, this is the first one that I've noticed.
But is it a cheap tactic that only makes weak gems stronger?
Well, lapis is strong in the real way. Oh wait.
Oh, but I can find more stuff about lazurite, and yes, the cleavage on it says imperfect.
No one's cleavage is perfect. That's just
I was gonna
lazurite
say,
is breaking
you got one
unrealistic
that's bigger than the other.
expectations. Unrealistic
That's
beauty standards for minerals.
seriously. I mean, there's always one boob that's bigger than the other. I think that's just
That's just a
true.
fact.
But hey, in the history and art section, literally, it does say what I mentioned before. It is mentioned in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Fuck yeah.
Woo!
Why not? Why not?
It's old and it pretty.
It's fucking old. Like, look at this. There's like a lot of it in the Mediterranean and Mesopotamia. Like, is that where it's most found? I feel like could be. Also, a lot of ancient Egyptian stuff. There's like a statue of a god here that's like pure like lapis lazuli. Damn,
Mm-hmm.
that's fucking cool, man. Oh, okay. Lapis lazuli was also often called sapphire in the Middle Ages, and also like before that. But like,
You know, when you just when you
interesting.
this is you know how there's like the fruit that is just orange and we call it orange. You know, when you have a bunch of gems that just mean blue, I'm sure there's going to be some crossover.
Yeah, like some of this is described as the sapphirus, which is speckled with gold, because lapis lazuli isn't just pure blue; it's also got little bits of gold in it.
Which
And I
is why
really,
her later design has all that.
yeah, I love that for her. That like they updated the design to be like, actually, it's not just a blue gem; it's like blue and gold. She real pretty, she real cool.
I'm
No, I love
wondering,
her.
like obviously they're just like how much of this is just that they decided that that design looked cooler, but it's like because she's technically presumably under blue diamond because she's blue and she
Yeah,
has the diamond design, and a blue diamond gem having like yellow accents would probably not be great for the regimented diamond authority, given that yellow diamond exists.
but
But
like
then
that's
but then
how
when she
lapis
later becomes a
lazulis
crystal
are.
gem, she's a crystal gem
Yeah,
when she reforms, and so she doesn't give no shits about the diamond authorities
don't give
dress
no
code.
fucks about it.
She goes, "Fuck your dress code. I'm wearing gold."
And I'm wearing stars all over the place because we love our stars on our crystal gems. Yeah. No, I just think it's a pretty fucking gem. Um my brain just like melted a little bit when I saw like this one spot that says Yeats. It's spelled with an A. It's spelled with an A because it's a man's name, but my brain was just like, what?
Yeet.
Excuse?
Yeats. William
This
Butler Yeats.
I want to know why he got his own section, even though it's like 2 sentences long.
You're just
He's got
passing
a
over
poem.
Vermeer.
He's got a poem. Yeah. Well, he's got lapis lazuli paint. Also, that is 1 sentence. Why do you have a header? Like,
because
Whoever
it's
edits Wikipedia is
well
very
because
stupid.
it's Vermeer. He's like a famous paint. That's a famous painting. It's in Animal Crossing. That's how famous it is.
I was gonna say I only know it because of Animal Crossing. I'm not gonna lie.
I think this is I'm pretty sure this is the artist that they mentioned on Carmen Sandiego too when he pretends to be the Duke of
Oh
Vermeer.
no, you
Or is that
right.
the other one?
You
So
right. No, there's
that's
definitely something about Vermeer in there.
because he's a famous painter, and that's why he gets his own heading, just because
Yeah.
he's famous. And
No, I'm just like
the blue part of Girl with Pearl Earring, if you know that painting, apparently has lapis lazuli as pigment. So good for
I'm
her.
just saying.
Lapis and pearl.
This is not related to Steven Universe, but I want to know why Wikipedia chooses to do this. I would have put like just the specifically art section together and put those two guys together instead of giving them their own headers.
I think because like the rest of this is formatted like the rest of it's like the ancient world, and then it's just these two guys. So it's like
yeah, you got
all
history and
all
then
of ancient
art.
civilizations, and then two random guys, just two guys. Two
Just
bros
guys.
chilling in the wiki, one header apart because they're probably gay.
It
And
took me
here
too
we
long.
go.
Took me too long to realize that Anthony Padilla from Smosh was the one who made that meme.
Oh yeah, it's super fun seeing people realize that.
Well, my
Oh,
dudes,
Smosh.
let's talk about the fucking episode. We start
What
off
episode?
and yeah, Ocean Gem, I think. Maybe. I could be wrong. But like do we not start off strong with like Steven getting grounded and Amethyst being like, "Yeah, we're gonna bury you."
Amethyst,
Bro?
but buddy, you're going a little too hard, buddy.
Maybe calm down a little bit. Just
I mean, gems start off in the ground. Would it really be that much of a stretch to imagine that a punishment is to go back into the ground?
you're not
Go-
wrong.
Go back from
oh
whence
my
you
God.
came.
Why don't they use that actually? Why don't they use that in Gem Society? You are grounded and then like puts you back in the fucking ground.
Because there are no warnings in Gem Society. If you fall out of line, you're dead. Probably.
You're right, but also I just think that would be funny. Yeah. So Steven grounded. Also, hey, look, the ocean's gone. Maybe that's important. I
Not
don't know.
the ocean.
No one needs it.
All of these people are so concerned about what no one's gonna come to Beach City now because there's no ocean. Excuse me, all of the water from Earth presumably is gone.
Also, like in general, what's that like thing about like tsunami warnings? That it's like if the tide is going away very, very quickly, don't follow it. Tsunami warning stuff. So it's like, why aren't all of you like sheltering in place or trying to escape or go up the hill? But there is something to be said about how it's like Beach City is a small town full of like just hardworking people, and they're probably used to some magical nonsense. So they're just like, y'all. Look, I was fine with stuff coming down from the sky and breaking the boardwalk. I was fine with Steven having Frybo mascot be possessed, but I draw the line at losing my tourist revenue to keep my small business afloat.
Excuse me, sir. All of the water on Earth is gone. Also, like, I mean, maybe it's not all the water. Maybe it's just the oceans. Did you just take the salt water? Because for some reason, later on, Mayor Dewey is trying to fill.
Mayor Dewey.
Yes, thank you. The empty ocean with like a gardening hose, and I'm just like, where is that water coming from?
There's probably a reserve, like in a
Where?
water tower or something. Like just
Yeah,
because the
there's also
ocean's gone.
groundwater.
Yeah, like just because the ocean is gone does not mean there's not still water accessible.
Yeah, and like so like she took all the ocean water presumably and like did that extend to all the lakes that go in and out of the ocean? Like there are ponds that don't have that. So there are sources of water, like there's underground water and stuff. So I think the assumption is that she just grabbed all the water that like she could see or like feel quickly in one place,
Yeah.
Waterbending rules, I guess.
I don't understand it.
So like there is still water.
But you know what? The science of Steven Universe never checks out. Neither does anything else because it's Steven Universe. Yeah, so everybody's upset because they won't have business.
And Lars won't have any beach babes to flirt with terribly.
Shut the fuck up.
Who's gonna tell him he probably was never gonna have any beach babes?
Nope. None.
Sadie's too nice to tell him, but she should tell him.
Yeah. And so we think it's Lapis Lazuli who did the thing. And what does Steven do? He packs up his backpack.
Oh, wait, one quick thing. In the zoomed out
Yeah.
shot of the entire beach city with the ocean gone, in the top right corner, you can see Obsidian's sword.
Ugh.
It's right
Okay,
there.
but like Steven is like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna help, and everyone's like, okay, fine, you're ungrounded because you wanna be helpful. Like you didn't actually mean to release a potentially antagonistic gem,
Yeah.
hostile gem. I'm not gonna say evil. She's just like
Gem of dubious morality, who has openly said that she doesn't like the crystal gems. So that is not great. That's not really a great checkbox in the friend or foe list.
but they're
Tragically
summer
not.
fun buddies.
No!
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh,
So
I do want
they're gonna
I
go
do
on
want
a
to point
trip.
out Connie is also in this episode, and her shirt has a sun.
Yeah.
Her shirt has a sun on it, and Steven's shirt has a star on it.
The sun and the star.
The sun
Rick,
and the star.
Rick Riordan, did you steal the idea? Well, Rick
I mean,
Riordan and Mako Shiro, so.
I mean, they're both stars if you really break it down.
So are you saying that Connie is Will Solis and Steven is Nico D'Angelo? Because I think that is so weird.
Considering how Future goes, yeah, I would argue a case for that.
You know,
Oh, jeez.
Shout out
Okay,
if you're
but at
an
this
Above
time,
the God listener, because we're talking about stuff away from the future.
here we are in the future, and it's wrong. Anyway, they're on a road trip. Steven and Connie are on Lion, and then everyone else is in Greg's van.
shout out to Greg for being willing to drive everyone over. It's like that's a lot of gas, probably,
We don't even know where we're driving to. We just know that we're driving
to where the ocean was.
where the ocean was. Just drive closer to the potential tsunami.
We're driving our van into someone's heart.
I have to
A-
assume that given all how this all goes, I have to assume that like they don't go past the continental shelf if Greg's van was able to drive it and not die instantly.
Mm.
So they probably would have just been like, "Hey, if like I imagine that they an alternate version where they did end up past the continental shelf. I'm like, okay, so Greg, just park here and stay here, and if you see a big wave, don't wave
Move.
back."
Don't wave
Um,
back.
We get an iconic Garnet moment where Greg puts some music on and he's like, "Hey Garnet, what do you think?" And Garnet just sits there silently and then just ducks and rolls out of the car.
It was one of Rose's favorites.
And then in the next shot, she's on top of the car, which I like to imagine is just her way of saying, "I refuse to listen to any of his music ever again."
It isn't even his music. It's just the type of music he likes.
And then later on, Amethyst and Greg are just sleeping in the back of the car, and Pearl is driving. And then Connie's sleeping on Steven as he's driving Lion.
Into her heart.
Let me drive my lion into your heart.
Yeah, so this is where we get an explanation that I don't think my friends knew was coming this early in the show.
Yeah, so this is the first time we get an explanation properly that the monsters they've been fighting throughout the series so far have been corrupted gems. And I thought this reveal came a little later. I was not expecting it to just be like, hey, here's the mid-season finale, lore dump.
I mean, it's the mid-season finale again that they thought might be the end of the fucking show. So like we gotta get a little bit of like, hey, this is why we're like this, you know? And then it puts your
Yeah.
perspective like differently for all of those past episodes.
Yeah. It's so like because like in like a couple previous episodes, like Steven knows that the crystal gems fight for Earth. Steven knows about Homeworld, I believe, right? Because that comes.
Does he?
I think people have mentioned Homeworld before this episode. I feel like they
Was
have.
this not when they learned that they were aliens? Is this not when they learned
Hold on,
that
let
gems
me
were aliens?
pull up the full episode list. Hold on, let me see.
When did we find out gems are aliens?
I don't think we figured out they're aliens yet, but I think he might have like known vaguely
Let's
about.
see. Gem Homeworld. Does it say when it was
Does
first
Steven
mentioned?
find out that they're aliens when Pearl wants to like hobble together a rocket and kill herself and Steven?
Possibly.
I think no. I think that these 2 episodes were like the first time they mentioned Gem Homeworld. That's what it. I mean, it's the first reference on the Gem Homeworld wiki.
Okay,
So
that's
I would
fair.
imagine that means that this is like the first time it's ever mentioned.
Okay, cool. But yeah, what I do know is that like the gems have told Steven that like they fight to protect Earth, and like Steven knows about the monsters. It's just really funny that he never asked like where the monsters come from, because he's just like, yeah, this is just part of life. They're just monsters. It's fine. This is fine.
He doesn't ask questions. Steven, why do you never ask follow-up questions?
Like, Steven Universe keeps his mysteries by having Steven ask no questions that any other human would ask, such as, where did this lion come from? To quote
Don't
Jello
Rose,
reference
Apocalypse
the
video.
Jello apocalypse to me. I was
Rose,
there when it was written.
So was
Rose,
I.
Rose never had lions. Oh yeah, Jello Apocalypse. That person like apparently shit themselves out of being famous.
I don't follow drama. I don't know things. I just remember that
I
video
watched
series.
like 2 or 3 videos, and that's it.
I watched that video series. He tried to make like a TV series thing, and that was cool. But I don't know anything since that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Anyway,
Um,
episode.
uh,
Cut
you
out
know
everything
what?
we've ever said until now and just start that podcast right here.
So they finally come up to things happening, and it's almost like an aquarium. Somehow Lapis kept all the fish alive because they stayed in the water.
Yeah, she just moved the water. She didn't move the things that were in the water out of it, you know?
You know what? We didn't want to totally fuck up the entire ecosystem of Earth for more than a day at least.
It'd be really
So
depressing for them to be driving past the corpses of millions of fish, so
exactly.
it's like that first scene in Avatar when Katara is like waterbending to get the fish out. Lapis just doing that, but to the extreme because she's a waterbending master.
But like a full tower of water and fish, and I'm just like, damn, that's a cool aquarium, man.
It also probably
Um,
does help with her goal of because she's trying to like have the tower extend as far as possible. The water displacement of keeping all the fish in there is probably
yeah,
helping her
true,
more than anything.
true. But also, like she probably wouldn't have had. She probably could have gotten it farther if she didn't. I don't know. Why is it so wide? It's like it's too wide. She doesn't
I
need it that wide.
I kind of wonder if it's like she's like sucking it in slowly but surely. Like I have to wonder if like she just went out to like some distance in the ocean away from just to get away from the gems. Just went out some distance into the ocean and then just like started going up and to have the water following behind her, and just because like physics stuff, it just is kind of slightly more like narrower on top and wider on bottom, and she's stretching it more and more and more. So
Maybe,
at some point,
maybe.
it would like become one like like a single molecule of water stacked on top of each other, back to back to back. But
Yep.
she's not gotten there yet.
So Steven tries to talk to Lapis, and yeah, she's just like not having it. It's like, no, no, you're a crystal gem. You work with them. They're the enemy. I hate you. Get the fuck out of my house. And so she makes water versions of all of them to fight them. Yay!
You know, it's a time. And
And
Garnet says to stay together, and then immediately gets punched out of the way by Water and Ice Garnet.
yep, exactly. I think this is great because then we get to have Pearl. Isn't this when Pearl's like, I hate fighting me?
Yes.
Good reference. Good
Yeah.
job.
Also, so like I get that like, you know, Lapis is making these versions of the gems out of water, and like, you know, Garnet
Mm-hmm.
and Pearl try and fail, and Amethyst, they all try to land hits on the water, but even if they do land hits, the water just like comes back because it's water. It doesn't like feel pain. But
Yeah.
like Garnet's like doing the like she's punching, and the water ice version of Garnet is punching with their Garnet's actual gauntlets and the ice version of the gauntlets, and like can Garnet's punches not break the ice? Like I get it's a more interesting visual, of course, to like
Unknown.
have that to have their meeting punch for punch, but it's like there's no way that the ice would have held up under the stress of Garnet's punches unless it just like immediately like reforming itself, like how the pearl sliced in half became two pearls. I don't know.
I
I
don't know, man.
the the
I
physics ain't physicsing.
Yeah, and Steven can't really fight himself, so it's more Lion fighting Steven. And then Greg's just here in the corner like, is this what all missions are like? I don't think you should be going on these anymore. And I think that's when he gets hurt. Uh,
Yep.
oops.
Or I think the van gets hit first and then he does
Okay.
after. Yeah, he gets hit and then Steven and Connie both are getting drowned. And Greg intervenes. He gets in the van
Yeah.
and hits Water Steven with the van to get him to stop drowning the children. And then the van crashes and he somehow only broke his leg in the crash and does the like, see, this is why we wear seatbelts, kids.
That's definitely like a wink and nod to the camera, you know, that connect where it's
Absolutely.
like, hey, don't do these crazy things, but if you're gonna do them, wear your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know how Lapis knew that people would drown.
That's a
I
good
didn't.
question that I'm sure we don't really want the answer to because if that's the case, Lapis intentionally tried to kill two children.
Because like she could have like
Lapis war
because
crimes.
she could have put the bubble like around like their bodies like she does later when she's raising Steven up out of the tower to talk with him. So like gems are vaguely like are aware of organic life. So I feel like they have to know some of the rules of organic life, you know? When you're taking over organic life planets. They must know a few things. They must have realized like, hey, wait a second, if we deprive them of oxygen, all those insufferably inferior organic creatures die. That's so much easier. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if that was a thing. Uh
I don't know.
Homeworld does some not great stuff. I think killing creatures by drowning them is that really much worse than destroying the planet from the inside out? I don't know. You decide.
Also fun here, Steven summons the shield again for the first time since like the first episode.
Yeah,
And when he does, all of the water things just kind of disperse
because like
by his protagonist power.
because the water ball hit it, and then it made a sound wave that made all the other water vibrate and disappear. I guess. I don't know.
No, it was pure protagonist power.
It really
That
is.
yeah. So then Lapis is like, okay, fine, it's time to talk. So Steven, like holds his breath. She lifts him up with a cool elevator that's a hand. Um,
How does this
and then there's
boy
the
not get
bubble.
the bends?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Is it magic healing? Is it the water pressure is weirder because it's a tower and not the actual depth of the ocean? I don't know, but
Unclear.
is it because it's a children's show and they didn't want to cover that? I don't know. I just work here.
I don't know, man. I just know that he's somehow alive, and I think they're actually in space. But Steven can't breathe underwater, but he can breathe in this atmosphere, and I'm confused.
It's like listen, you know who's another character who can kind of breathe in the atmosphere but can't breathe underwater?
Who?
Goku.
That's a different everything.
Now Goku is also an alien. Now Steven's only part alien. Goku and Steven might be equal in power. Ergo, Goku and Steven can breathe in the atmosphere.
When we get Pink Steven much later on, is that not Steven going Super Saiyan? Is it not the same thing? I'm thinking of the Steven versus Jasper fight.
I know. I just it's a time. Sometimes you just get sometimes you just get magical power that makes you glow bright and be powerful. There's also like just again about how science is not real in this episode. The water tower is still very much liquid water, where if it was in the deep void of space, it probably would have frozen by now. And so would have just hit a wall of ice on his way up. But so maybe something
Magic.
magic.
It's magic. Don't worry about it. because Lapis's wings would be frozen like whenever she'd be in space. So I don't know, man. I am confused.
But
But
yeah. Plenty of
Lapis,
fictional characters that can control water can make it like warm up and cool down. So like it's fine. It's
yeah, Katara
fine.
can do the same thing. So
Exactly.
uh,
I was thinking of that and also Mako mermaids, but that's individual powers are different.
excuse me, did you just call it Mako mermaids?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, sorry. I was a
They
small
are
child when
Mako sharks.
had ever seen it and I didn't watch it very much, so I just read it and I'd never had it read to me. So
There is Mako from Legend of Korra, and then there is Mako mermaids.
exactly why I confuse them in my head because I have not heard it out loud as Mako
Well,
enough
they are
times
spelled the
to
same, and
correct
I do
it.
hate that. I do hate that they're spelled the same. That does
It's the darndest thing.
why
Sometimes it's hard to pronounce things, Charlie.
Lapis Lazuli.
Mhm.
That, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Uh, so Lapis.
Anyway, back to the episode. Lapis.
Lapis wants to go home. She just want to go home. Like, bro,
I
she's been
wanna
stuck.
go home. I wanna go home.
Home.
Wait, which
Yole, yole.
wait, which is this from again?
SpongeBob. That's
SpongeBob.
when
Okay, I'm like,
when when Sandy's
Sandy,
like
Mrs.
crying about
Texas.
yeah.
Look, Sandy, Lapis, same character.
does
My
that
brain
mean
was just like,
Homeworld is just Texas?
no one wants to go there. Don't worry about it. My brain was like hearing the cowboy in, and I'm just like, this is not the song that Ruby sings. What is this from?
Well, I mean, Texas is the Lone Star state, so Homeworld is just the Four Diamond state. It's fine.
Wow.
Well, now
No,
three,
no.
but that's a different
Yeah.
problem. You know what? Lapis had the right idea. We should just leave. We should just fly away and
We
leave.
just fucking leave. You know what I was saying? Lapis has been stuck as a mirror for how fucking long?
Several thousand years, something like that.
Like
Seriously? She
5,750
wants
years,
to go
roughly.
home. She wants to go.
10,000 years gives you
Will give
such
you
a
such a crick in the neck. But like I think we forgot to mention it last episode, but like this is like the first time that we have like gems inside of objects, I think, which is like a prominent thing on Homeworld too. So I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that's like foreshadowing for later, but maybe it is. Maybe they were just like, huh, why don't we add that more? Do more of that for Homeworld. You know, gems being enslaved as objects.
terrible.
Why
Horrible.
not?
Slavery bad.
Wonderful society.
Yeah. Just the like horrifying idea that it's like even like being defeated in combat doesn't make you doesn't mean that you're out of commission. You still need to work for the Diamond Authority. You can't even in death you can't stop.
All for the glory of the Empire.
Lapis's gem is cracked. We kind of knew this already.
Which means Steven has to fix it, and hey, Lapis, sorry, this might be a little weird. Just fucking, like, hogs a loogie into his hand and puts it on her gem.
This is why I enjoy later Steven when he just starts kissing the ground to, like, fix the earth. And right now he's just like, I am 13-year-old boy. I will be disgusting. Like, lick hand. That was great audio.
Oh yeah, so I was just listening to that episode earlier and it's like, yeah, you know, Steven kissing the ground in the movie, does he not think to try kissing the kindergarten ground?
I wonder if he can.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, why doesn't Steven fucking do that with the kindergarten? Like,
I don't know if it would work or not, because like I don't know how deep like Spinell's injector went versus like the dozens and hundreds of injectors. I don't know. But like as he tried
all 4 diamond abilities could do it. All 4 diamond abilities could heal the earth.
well, I don't know, because like the other diamond's abilities are very seem to be very specific about like controlling gems, changing the form of gems, changing the emotions of gems. Like blue diamond can't affect human emotions. She can affect gem emotions. So like I think pink diamond /Rose/Steven might be the only one that has like power to affect organics in that way, maybe.
Organics.
Maybe.
Affect those filthy organics.
I mean, that's what you gotta call them, sadly. They are the organics.
We are the organics.
Who's we?
No.
I'm not organic. I'm inorganic. Wait a minute. Oh god! Ah!
You're Robert.
We are the
Well-
You're
crystal
full of
germs.
pesticides.
Oh no!
Well, we have cured Lapis's gem. And now she's got water wings! Yay!
And she thanks
And
Steven. And
the
what does
most
Steven
iconic line.
what does Steven say in return, everyone? Everyone all together. No,
No
prob,
prob, Bob.
Bob. It's Lapis.
It's Lapis.
It's Lapis.
Oh, yeah.
And so begins the recurring gag of people calling Lapis different names, and not actually calling her different names. She just doesn't realize that it's like a thing.
And then the greatest callback of all time is until like Hit the Diamond, the baseball episode.
And she goes by Bob.
Bob.
Like there's also the I forget what the episode is when Steven's like saying that Lapis could move into an apartment and move into a farm, and says like, "We're ready, Freddy," and she goes, "My name is Lapis." Like she's convinced that Steven doesn't know her name, even though he's
He
called
knows
her
her name.
Lapis multiple times.
Steven's just a
And it's
terrible
just,
friend.
just like so I can imagine poor Lapis, who is like not used to like human customs and linguistic quirks like that, just like, why does he know my name half the time and not the rest of the time? What is going on?
He's giving you
And-
nicknames. Don't worry about it, Bob.
And now Lapis flies into space. Hey, doesn't that mean that the ocean it just like crashes back down into the to the
Literally,
In
I
a
feel
sequence
like-
of Minecraft blocks.
earth? I am not
seriously.
I don't know what I would need to be. I am not a smart person, so I don't know what the consequences of the entire ocean flooding back to the earth from the atmosphere would do.
Oh, I think
Uh,
everyone would be dead. I think everyone would be dead because there would be a gigantic wave going across everywhere.
So again, my whole thing earlier about like the continental shelf, about how they probably didn't go down the continental shelf. There's a good chance that the continental shelf itself might be like saving enough people to like absorb some of the impact around the other continents. But Beach City would be dead.
Beach City dead.
Hey, question.
But like other continents, maybe fine, maybe okay. I don't know.
The water comes back. There's this wonderful little like saving Steven sequence that Connie and Lion do, which is grab my hand,
Yeah.
Yep. It's very
Good
cute.
shit.
and they go
And
back
they
to
mi-
Beach City,
The,
which is
the
great.
dramatic missing once and catching it the second time, just like peak cinema. I can't believe this episode invented cinema. Also, I forgot to say it earlier, but like Lapis's tower is gorgeous, and the music playing, which is titled Lapis's Tower, is gorgeous, and I love it.
Lapis's tower.
And I definitely didn't want to, in my video game computer science class in high school, didn't want to make a platformer game based off this episode, and then failed to because I didn't know Unity as a
Oof.
software that well.
Yeah, Unity's a bitch.
Definitely. We had to use it. That was the class, basically.
So the episode
No.
ends with all the ocean's back. Everyone is like excited that Beach City, I guess, is not gonna. Beach City and that town from Jaws are just both concerned with like money and not the safety of their people.
That's it. That's all that matters. Steven saved everyone from drowning with a bubble. We put the all the gems on top of the van and in a bubble. The van is dead, but like we saved it.
The van died. R.I.P. the van. And the episode ends with Steven looking up into the morning sky, bidding farewell to Lapis, and in response, a star twinkles. What in the fucking like Disney Peter Pan bullshit is that? Where the fucking star twinkles?
Also, the star. So there's the star cutaway that they use in a lot of episodes, and it zooms in on a star in the sky, and that star happens to be shaped like a diamond.
Bum bum bum.
Doesn't it?
Okay, but is it
Like
the second
like
star
there's
on the
different-
right?
like there's plenty like there's plenty of like stars like when they're in space, and some of them are like the cross shapes, and some are like that diamond shape. But it's conveniently the one that's meant to indicate where Lapis flew to is diamond shape.
Oh, sure.
But
Weird.
but also we get the little ominous notion of like, so Lapis made it to Homeworld. What does that mean for us? Like,
Bum 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 bum.
if we hadn't gotten more and this was it, it's like, okay, but like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Why does she hate you guys? Why What do
Yeah.
you
All
guys
will
only
be
care about Earth
revealed
and not homeworlds,
in
you know?
26
Yeah.
episodes time.
Yeah. So, like, there's something to be
Kind
said
of.
about how it's, like, a lot of the episodes before this are, like, arguably, like, more episodic. Not, like, filler, obviously, but, like, uh, they feel more like wacky fun times, and then it's, like, back to back, you have, like, Monster Buddies and Indirect Kiss and Mirror and Ocean Gems, where just, like, here's a bunch of plot with some wacky shenanigans, but, like, here's a bunch of plot at
See you
once
guys
about,
in
like
26 more episodes when it's all pays off.
so, like, I have to wonder if they, like, produce these sooner because I don't know when in the process they said, "Hey, these might be the last episodes." If it was, like, they produced them and then they said, "Oh, no, actually, never mind, you're good," and then they were able to make more until we could get to more big
Yeah,
plot
I don't
things.
know.
I
I
don't
don't know,
know.
man.
I
I don't
don't
know the
know, man.
process. I'm just happy with the outcome. I feel like I've been talking a lot this episode. I'm sorry for hogging y'all's pod.
But hey, Charlie,
What's up? What's up, River? What's up? What's
are
up?
you ready for some to go to the class? No, Crystal Temple trivia. Jesus Christ,
We're
You're
going to the
getting your
temple.
bits. The bits are mixed.
the bits
It's a
are
fusion of the two
mixed.
bits.
This episode shows that all the gems are able to use dual weapons, except Garnet, due to her already using two gauntlets. This was previously hinted in Together Breakfast when Amethyst was shown to summon two whips.
A variation of the ending theme is played at the end of the episode when Steven and the gems return. This is the only time the variation plays its introduction before playing it.
Yeah, that's like the, if I could begin to do
To
something
be
that does right by you, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like
Like
you.
you.
we love this. That's
Yeah,
the best song though. Okay.
It's an
Love
amazing
Like You is the
song.
best song.
The title card shows the ocean and Steven's clothes on the clothesline missing, referencing the events of the episode. I do love the title card changes. They're good. And it's back at the end title card, so like it's fine.
According to Ian Jones Cordy, this episode is believed to be the last episode of the whole series due to the show not being renewed at the time.
The fact that
Tragic.
like they weren't renewed in the middle of what they thought was gonna be a whole season. I don't know. It's interesting that they weren't just like, and the next episode is season 2. Like just continue season 1.
I mean, like plenty of shows like have big season 1 cliffhangers and then networks can decide what if instead we didn't renew you or like, that's always up in the air with every season production stuff. So like as sad as it is, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's just
Cries in
interesting that
Symbiotic Titan.
it's just
Oh,
interesting that they continued.
Sobs in Symbiotic
um,
Titan. Weeps.
When Steven says, "I'm going to bring the ocean back," or get really thirsty trying, it could be a reference to the rapper 50 Cent to
to
rapper
rapper 50
50
Cent.
Cent movie and album entitled Get Rich or Die Trying. I'm sorry, this sentence is a mess.
It's framed a little weird if you don't like
If you can't read,
once you say it, you can get it, but there's probably a better way to say
it's
that.
framed a little weird if
Yeah.
you can't read. And we all know that Charlie's
can't
actual
read.
name is Jared and they're 19 years old.
They
I
never
can't
fucking
fucking
learn how to
read.
read. When Garnet punches through the head of her water double, it reforms around her fist, a reference to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where the T-800 similarly punches through the head of the liquid metal T-1000.
When Garnet jumps out of the van, she uses a roll similar to the stop, drop, and roll technique and a roll seen in many action films.
Yeah, except it's really funny how she rolls with her arms straight down at her sides because she's a gem and doesn't have to really care about like protecting her face.
Yep,
Whereas anyone else
totally
would be
fine.
like, arms up, protect the face. You gotta remember to protect the face.
The water tower is a reference to the tower in the episode The Tower of Adventure Time.
Oh, yeah, I guess. It is. It is a tower.
Technically.
It's not a tower. When the water clones summon their weapons, Amethyst says, "Ruh-oh," a reference to Scooby-Doo.
It's a shame Charlie didn't get that one.
Right.
It's
We should,
okay.
let's refilm this
okay.
entire segment so that Charlie gets that one.
Nah. Garnet's battle with her clone strongly resembles the famous Star Platinum versus the World fight from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Cruise. Was this out at the same time as JoJo? Is JoJo not? I guess the manga would have had to exist before the anime came out. So I guess
Let's see.
this is not a
First
question
aired
I actually wanted answered.
2014.
I did not want that question answered. I
I
was just being rhetorical.
sorry. I literally clicked on the link because it had a link and it says 2014. So I would assume possibly. Corrupted gems are similar to the I don't Kishin from the anime and manga Soul Eater, in that they were both driven to madness, causing them to become more monstrous and later imprisoned in a temple. I know Soul Eater exists, my mom watches it, but I have not seen it myself.
I know it exists. I could not point out a single character if I tried. Lapis's tower is an allusion to the mythic Tower of Babel, as both were created to reach the heavens/space and ultimately fail.
Holy fuck! I love when this does this shit.
Right? What's that? Unfortunately, that joke about how there's only like 12 stories or whatever. But
Lapis's water clones are a popular trope, particularly in sci-fi, where an antagonist creates perfect duplicates of the protagonist to the point where neither fighter can get ahead. Which is why when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, they're gonna end up switching. They're gonna end up being like, Garnet, you fight the Amethyst clone, and like Pearl fights the Garnet clone, and I fight the Pearl clone. Like we
Didn't
all
matter.
know each other's weaknesses. Like that's such a common trope when you have like a character that has to fight a copy of themselves. They're like, oh, let's trade. You fight my clone, I fight your clone, because we know how to fight each other's clones.
well, originally Garnet like said like, "Hey, stick together," and then her clone punched her out of the way, so that a good distance from the others. So it's
Yeah.
like, well,
She
shit,
had
too
a
late.
plan, it didn't work.
Garnet is
okay.
trope savvy, and the tropes said no.
Yeah. The reveal that all the monsters were previously gems who became corrupted is a possible reference. No! Fuck no! To the anime and manga series Puella Magi Madoka Magica, in which all magical girls whose soul gems have become corrupted turn into witches, similarly mindless monsters. I'm sorry, this is one of the things. This is one of the hills I die on. I'm sorry.
This episode continues from near gem.
Pearl mentioned Greg saying Pearl mentioned Greg saying if every pork chop was perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs by asking about that thing Greg always said, which was in the episode Laser Light Cannon.
When Steven gets ready to find Lapis, he puts on his cheeseburger backpack that he got in the episode Cheeseburger Backpack.
Before the fight with Lapis, she makes a construct of Steven's face from the tower while he screams, "No!" which is a line he said in the previous episode, Mirror Gem, that is also replayed several times by the mirror, because the mirror repeats things.
Amethyst shapeshifts into Purple Puma from Tiger Millionaire again in order to fight her water duplicate.
When fighting her water clone, Pearl says, "I hate fighting me," a reference to when she fought Hollow Pearl in Steven and the Sword Fighter.
The Stevens from Steven and the Stevens went too far into the future and accidentally visited a scene from Ocean Gem.
Did they show up at any point in the episode? Was anyone paying attention? I guess we wouldn't know because they appeared on the beach and the gang's in the middle of the ocean.
Also, I think we
Yeah.
deleted that future. Technically,
Technically, they deleted the future, but
deleted-
that future still needs to happen for it to get deleted. Time travel is complicated.
we deleted them, so I don't know if them even
Time
popping up
travel
would happen.
is
Well,
complicated.
the thing is, like, that timeline still happened to Steven. It just didn't happen to the
Steven.
other. Yeah.
It happened to Steven, but it didn't happen to Steven.
And it didn't happen to the Stevens, but.
Yeah.
A collection of monsters in the series was shown in flashbacks. These include Nephrite from Gemglow, Orange Spotamine from Bubble Buddies, the Gem Cave Creature, and the Drill Parasites from Arcade Mania, Watermelon Tourmaline from Beach Party, my babe, and Larimar from Monster Buddies.
Where the fuck were these characters' classroom gem segment?
Charlie doesn't do classroom
because
gems for corrupted gems.
I don't do it for the corrupted ones because they don't get named.
Rude.
Sadly.
Their names are right here, Charlie. Wow.
I mean,
Rude.
you could like do that because if it's on the wiki, but like you don't have to. It's your bit. Don't let
Yeah,
Robert
I
tell you how to
was-
do your bit.
I was not even
You're a
gonna
strong,
do,
independent bitch. You don't need no bits.
I am waiting to do them until they are uncorrupted and fully named in the series, because currently they have no names as of when these episodes came out.
A lot of them I don't think are named out loud in the series.
Yeah,
They're
but
just so you're gonna still miss a bunch of them. You're just gonna have a final episode where it's like, okay, so here's the 20 gems we see on screen right now. Go,
well, I
go,
was gonna
go.
say in future, you there's like a few episodes that certain gems are important to, so like stuff will happen in future. I'm not worried about it.
You should be.
Alright. House Guest is a continuation of this episode because Greg injures his leg in this episode and the van home was destroyed.
Yeah.
Greg mentions that he had a great idea for an album cover when they approached the ocean. The album is later shown in The Message.
And Charlie, you get the last one, the best one.
After healing Lapis' gem, Steven responds to her by saying, "No prob, Bob." Later in the series, Lapis uses the nickname Bob as her undercover human name during the episode Hit the Diamond. One of the best
Woo.
episodes.
I love that Lapis' first exposure to human names besides Steven is Bob, because that just like that sure is just a default name. I'm sorry,
Steven!
Robert.
All right, so now we're going to do Pearl Points, and this is going to be a very special Pearl Points because this is episode 26. We are halfway through the show. We're going to count up and remind our audience who has how many Pearl Points. So before we do that, we're going to assign our Pearl Points. I'm giving my Pearl Point probably to Connie.
What for? Just cause?
Because that scene where she like looks at Lion and she goes like, "Hey, let's go," and then they go and they save Steven.
I'm giving my Pearl Point to Sadie for pushing Lars in the ocean because he fucking deserved it.
I'm giving my Pearl Point to Lapis because she's the best and she needs some love and affirmation.
And also for creating that really beautiful tower.
Yeah. She's doing her best. My friend and I often joke, it's like Lapis did nothing wrong. She just tried to steal the ocean.
Yeah, nothing wrong.
She did
just like
nothing
kind of
wrong. She
messed
kept
with
all the
an
fish
ecosystem.
alive.
She just kind of messed with the Earth's ecosystem for like a day. Don't worry about it.
Is that really worse than what all of humanity has done?
I don't know the consequences of her actions, sadly. Because Steven Universe doesn't talk about what happened to the ocean after that.
So now we have our mid-season tally up for
The
all
mid-season pre-finale tally up?
the mid-season pre-finale tally up. Who's ready to hear this fucking wild-ass list?
Let's
I
go.
want to. I
Hype,
love that we're
hype,
copying
hype.
another podcast.
Tied for last place with half a point, we have Cookie Cat, Steven's TV, Steven's Ukulele, Pearl's Tea Set, Kiki, and Lion.
Wow.
Why did all those things get half a point?
Because we're idiots.
Because y'all like to spread the love a little too much, apparently.
Tied for third place with 1 point each, we have the strawberry on top of the Together Breakfast, the pizza ordered after the Together Breakfast, Jelly Jiggler and Tsunami, Trevor, the Dewey Mobile, corrupted gems at the bottom of the ocean, the boat onion harpooned, mysterious gem in the mural, the butterflies, Mr. Smiley, Lars, Steven's oversized phone prop, fan art of the pillow as a person. I have no idea what the fuck this one means. Metal Mutt, Punch Buddy, Opal, Steven Jr., Garnet's Goggles, Amethyst, Sour Cream, Ranger Guy, the building onion set on fire, the cloud Amethyst 8, Boomerang, Steven putting Pearl's gem under a heat lamp, the box office lady, Dogcopter, Watermelon Torlanine, Nana Fwa, Tiny Little Whale, the golf pants, the jar of pickles that Sadie opens, Pearl, the biggest bowl of ice cream, Garnet's Keytar, editor of the Butt Lobster section of the wiki, the Butt Lobster, Durian Juice, Connie's Glasses, MC Bear Bear, Mayor Dewey's Head on the Van, and Connie.
I'm sorry, Mayor Dewey's van and then Mayor Dewey's head on the van got separate points.
These are separate points.
If you say them separately, they are separate things. There's the whole van, and then are you just your head? Huh? Your head is separate than just you.
I don't want to think about that. I really don't want to think about that. All right. Tied for second place with 2 points each, we have the shark in the photo with the gems, Greg, the crystal shrimps, Pete, Sadie, and Lapis. Tied for first place with 3 points each, we have Garnet and Steven.
You know, that's
Beautiful.
fair. That's
That
a
makes
fair
sense.
distribution of points. It's not that fair, but it's, you know.
No, that's super fair. Amethyst has gotten no points.
Amethyst has 1 point. Amethyst and Pearl have 1 point.
Oh, okay.
Garnet have 2. Garnet has 3.
Okay, I was like, I didn't hear Amethyst. Okay, she's got
Garnet
1
has
point.
1 point for each eye.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our weird fucked up list. I can't wait to see what this list is going to look like on episode 52.
Robert, you need to add those things onto the bit schedule. I wanna visualize this.
Oh, that's actually a good idea. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. We
And
need to do
now
that.
for the question. What will our question be this episode?
Have you ever tried to steal the ocean?
I'm gonna steal. I need to like do Nicolas Cage voice when he's like, I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence, but I need to do like, I'm gonna steal the ocean.
I think you just
It's
did
like
it. Like,
Yeah,
it's like when
like mission
Gru steals the
accomplished.
moon. You know?
we're going to steal the moon.
If you could steal uh something that is literally impossible to fucking steal, what like a national like landmark, or like uh the Declaration of Independence, or the fucking ocean.
No, I want to do Declaration of Independence just so I can do my Nick Cage voice and be like, we gotta steal the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sure you're the
if you
first
could
one to do
steal
that.
something super impossible like the ocean, what would you steal?
Cocaine.
For some reason, the only thought in my mind right now, even though I don't even use Twitter, is to steal Elon Musk's dignity, because he acts like he has so much of it, and it's like, boy,
He has dignity?
he
Does
acts like it. He acts like he thinks he does, but it's like, bro, no. You ever just steal a man's dignity?
Oh man, oh man. What would I fucking steal? I asked the question and then I don't know the answer.
You would steal someone's heart.
No, that's feasible
That's
to
very,
do though.
very possible.
That's very,
Charlie's very
very
charming.
feasible.
Yeah, Charlie's got that
Uh,
Chris.
that Chris.
Is that
Can
cringe and
I?
weird?
Yeah, that very cringe. Can I? I'm gonna steal Disney World so that way now it's mine. They can't have it back.
Can you lower admission?
Who says people are allowed in it?
If I could, I'd steal Disney and keep it all for me, and you can't do anything to stop me. I don't know.
I would let all of you guys inside of it, but like
Hey,
no
yo.
one else.
Hey,
Just
yo.
me.
We
and
need
my
other people to
friends.
maintain the park.
Shut
There's
the
a lot of
fuck
stuff
up,
in
Robert.
there.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Before we go, Kyla, would you like to tell the wonderful listeners who you are?
No,
She has
Fantastic.
no place on the internet.
I don't exist.
Except her Tumblr that we won't speak of.
Yeah, I don't exist. People
And
don't need to know
the
me.
YouTube that also we don't speak of, just like mine.
No, there's no
I'm gonna.
there's no YouTube.
I ordered Wingstop. I'm gonna enjoy some wonderful Charlie YouTube videos while I enjoy my Wingstop.
Don't you wanna? I'll text you Kyla's so you can find
No.
hers.
I don't need Kyla's YouTube. I'm just gonna watch.
I did recently private all the videos because I just like don't need those online anymore.
Oh,
so
fuck, what is
but
this?
but I
Charlie's so cool. Like, no, that's a different person. Jesus, wrong trans Charlie.
There's a lot of those.
A lot of those
but
trans
the
Charlies.
few videos I do have public are of me and Charlie hanging out. So like
the only ones that are important, honestly.
The only ones that matter because I was having fun doing them instead of being like, I don't know, I watch YouTube, let's give this a shot. Wow, I'm bad at this.
Literally, that's a lot of YouTube. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyla's cool. Find her on this podcast sometimes.
And sometimes, yeah. Well, then I suppose that's it. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Robert.
If every podcast were perfect,
we wouldn't have the bits.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios. You can follow this podcast socials at The Bits SU Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our Diamond line through thebitssupod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, and I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Robert, at the Damn Meme page on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Damn is spelled D-A-M. If you want to hear more from me, check out one of my many podcasts. I have a Once Upon a Time podcast called Entering Storybrooke, a Kim Possible podcast called That's a Sitch, and an Osman Verse podcast called the Truum Grammar Book Club.
The Bits is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Of the Eldest Gods, a chapter-by-chapter Rick Riordan pod with mythological context and no spoilers.
Charlie, I'm so glad I found you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. The break was hard, but I'm not injured.
Thank the gods. What do we do now?
Okay, Ray, I need you to listen to me. There's only one book left, and I know it's going to be hard, but we have to get through it.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna run out and start reading.
Good plan. Okay. I'll start emailing guests.
Charlie! No! You're an introvert!
It's okay. I can do this.
Remember me, Charlie!
I love you, buddy.
For Rick!
Check out Of the Eldest Gods. Episodes every Thursday, now covering Book 5 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Last Olympian.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, Charlie.
How dare you for fucking talking while
Hey,
on this
Charlie!
episode that we invited you to? Hey Kyla, what's up? I'm ignoring Robert.
I'm just
now.
wondering how your day's going. Let's talk for an extra like 20 minutes. Or is Robert
Yeah,
editing this
right?
episode? Great. Then let's
I edit
talk for
every
6
episode.
hours.
I just cut out what I don't want to hear. I just cut out 20-minute conversations at a time. I don't care. I'll do it.
Robert
I'll do
refuses
it.
to let
Deletes
me
Kyla's
edit.
audio file, you know.
It's just me and Charlie talking to a ghost. It's fine.
Deus Ex Media.